Are you looking for a quick way to explore the Syncfusion React DataGrid without jumping between demos and docs? We have put together a fully featured sample so you can see everything in one place. Let's begin with the data source used in the React DataGrid, built to efficiently handle millions of records. In this example, the grid is bound to order details data, containing 10,000 records. Instead of loading all the data at once, the grid uses the paging feature to split the 10,000 records into 334 pages, and each page loads 30 records on demand, improving performance. You can navigate to the other records by clicking the page numbers at the bottom. Suppose you want to change how many records are shown per page. Just use the Page Size drop-down menu. It makes exploring the data easier and lets you control how much you see at a time. Now that we've seen how data loads into the grid, let's move on to how it handles different types of data in columns. Look at this example. We have defined a variety of data types: string, date, integer, double, checkbox, and datetime. The React DataGrid also supports cell templates that let you display column values using visual components instead of plain text. In this sample, we've gone beyond plain text. We have rendered a rating component directly inside a cell to show user feedback. Added hyperlinks using anchor tags for quick navigation to external pages. Displayed images to visually represent data. In addition to template support, you can also fine-tune the behavior and appearance of individual grid columns through column customization option. Let's take the freight column as an example to see how column customization works. You can align text to left, right, center, or justify. Format numeric values such as currency, percentage, or with decimal precision. Enable or disable specific data operations like column reordering, resizing, grouping, searching, and more. And for columns with long text, like the ship address, you can wrap the content and even show a tooltip to keep it readable and user-friendly. Let's now explore two features that improve column usability and flexibility in the grid. First up, column freezing. This feature freezes any column for value comparison or always the column to be visible in viewport while scrolling. Here the command column and rating is frozen, so even when you scroll horizontally, the CRUD action buttons stay pinned, making it easier to edit or delete rows without losing context. Next is the column chooser. This option lets you show or hide columns dynamically. Just open the column chooser dropdown and select or unselect the columns you want from the list. It's a fast and intuitive way to tailor the grid layout based on your requirements. So far, we saw how column customization works in the React DataGrid. Now let's explore the editing capabilities of the React DataGrid, designed to offer a seamless experience for managing and updating records. It offers several ways to edit the records in the DataGrid, each tailored to different user preferences and workflows. For example, the customer name column uses a text box for string input. The order date column displays a date picker for date values. And the verified column shows a checkbox for Boolean fields. To begin editing, one of the quickest ways is simply double-clicking a row, which instantly switches it to an editable state for inline changes. For users who prefer toolbar-based actions, simply select a record and click the edit icon. If you're working primarily with a mouse, right-clicking on a row opens a context menu where you can select Edit Record. You'll also find an Edit button in the command column of each row. Clicking it makes the row editable. React DataGrid doesn't miss out on keyboard users. Pressing the F2 key makes the selected row editable. These options make editing flexible, no matter how you interact with the grid. Just like editing, adding and deleting records in the React DataGrid is super flexible and easy too. Let's start with adding. You've got two quick options. Click the add icon in the toolbar, or press the insert key on your keyboard. Now, when it comes to deleting a record, there's a bit more variety. You can select a row, right-click to open the context menu, and choose the delete option, or simply click the delete icon in the toolbar. You can also use the command column button to delete the row directly. And if you prefer keyboard shortcuts, just select the row and hit the delete key. Now, let's proceed to check out the supported editing modes in the React DataGrid. By default, the grid uses inline editing, also known as normal editing mode, where you can edit values directly within the row. Just click, update, and save. Quick and efficient. But there's more. The grid also supports two additional editing modes, dialog and batch, to suit different workflows. To switch between modes, simply click the settings icon in the top right corner of the grid, go to Edit Settings, and choose your preferred mode. The dialog mode works similarly to inline editing, but opens a pop-up dialog when you add or edit a record, displaying the selected row in a form-style layout that makes it easier to view and update multiple fields at once. In batch mode, you can add, edit, and delete multiple records, and then save all changes in one go, ideal for bulk updates. Let's see how batch editing works. First, let me add a new record. When a new row is added, it appears at the top by default, but you can change its position to the bottom using the New Row Position dropdown. Then, modify the shipping details. And finally, while trying to delete a record, a confirmation pop-up appears to prevent accidental deletions. Once all changes are made, clicking the update icon in the toolbar prompts a confirmation dialog asking whether you want to save all completed changes, an extra layer of validation. If you prefer not to see this prompt, you can disable it by turning off the Show Unsaved Confirmation dialog option. Before adding or updating any record, it's important to validate the edited column values to maintain data integrity. The Syncfusion React DataGrid provides built-in support for easy and effective data validation. This feature ensures that the data entered or modified adheres to predefined rules, preventing errors and guaranteeing the accuracy of the displayed information. Column validation allows you to define constraints on individual fields so that invalid entries are blocked, and display the error messages like "This field is required" or "Enter a valid value." In addition to the standard column rules, the grid supports custom validation logic to handle more complex validation too. You can also prevent complete CRUD actions in the grid to make the component as read-only mode. You can do this by simply disabling the options for adding, editing, and deleting rows in the edit settings. Once done, the grid instantly switches to read-only mode, and users will no longer be able to modify records. Now let's explore the filtering options and how they work in the React DataGrid. By default, the grid uses the filter bar type, which allows you to filter records based on specific criteria. Normally, a text box will be displayed in the filter bar cell for each column, so you can enter values and instantly see the filtered results. Also, you can use various components such as date picker, numeric text box, combo box, and multi-select within the filter bar based on your specific requirements. For example, in the freight column, a numeric text box is rendered through filter bar templates support to filter the particular column values easily. Similarly, you can render different components based on the column type through this filter bar template support. Similarly, the ship country column displays a drop-down list. Select Germany to view only the orders shipped to Germany. For the verified column, a checkbox is shown. Checking it will display only the verified records. If you want to choose filter operators before applying a filter, you can enable the Show Filter Bar Operator option in the filter settings. This adds a drop-down next to each filter input, allowing you to choose operators like equals, contains, greater than, and more. Apart from this, the filter bar type offers many customization options to fine-tune filtering behavior. Now, let's look at other supported filtering types. Menu filtering provides a user-friendly interface for filtering data based on column types and operators. Checkbox filtering displays a list of unique values as checkboxes for each column. You can filter data by selecting one or more values. Excel-like filtering offers a familiar Excel-style interface with checkbox lists and operator drop-downs. You can filter records based on selected values and conditions. React DataGrid supports text, number, date, and Boolean filters so you can build precise conditions. For large datasets, the checkbox list shows unique column values and displays up to 1,000 items by default to keep the dialog fast. Additional values can be fetched as you scroll or via the dialog search, so the filter remains responsive even with millions of records. You can customize the choice count, item appearance, and loading behavior to balance usability and performance. You can also clear filter using the clear filter icon in the toolbar. Searching records in this example is designed to be flexible and customizable. Clicking the search box opens a set of options in a custom pop that allow you to configure the search before typing a keyword. You can choose the column to search in, set the search operator from dropdown, enable case sensitivity, and ignore special characters. For example, if you want to search for Spain only in the ship country column, simply select that column before typing. Now, we can move on to the grouping feature, which helps organize data visually in the React DataGrid. You can group records by dragging one or more columns into the group drop area. For example, grouping by ship country and then by ship name creates nested groups that make the data easier to explore. You can notice that grouped columns can be rearranged in the group bar. If that feels too dynamic, you can turn off the Show Grouped Column Reordering option to keep things fixed. The group drop area itself is part of the layout, but if you'd rather not see it, just disable the Show Group Drop Area option. Next, let's see about the aggregation support in React DataGrid. Aggregation in the React DataGrid helps summarize data using built-in types like sum, min, max, average, and count. Grid will also support custom aggregate by doing your own logic to show the aggregate values in the corresponding column. These values give a quick overview of totals, trends, and distributions across the data set. For instance, in the freight column, you'll notice a customized dynamic menu that lets you switch between different aggregate types, making it easy to view totals, averages, or maximum values based on your preference. You'll see 3 types of aggregates in action throughout the grid. The footer aggregate appears at the bottom of the grid, showing overall totals. The group caption aggregate summarizes values right in the group header, making it easier to scan group data at a glance. The group aggregate is displayed within each grouped section, giving insights specific to that group. What's especially useful is how these aggregate values respond to changes. Whether you're editing records, applying filters, performing searches, or regrouping data, the aggregates update automatically. So as you interact with the grid, the summary data stays accurate and reflects the current state of the data set. After exploring how aggregation keeps summary data dynamic, let's look at how the grid supports exporting. Whether it's Excel, PDF, or CSV, exporting is straightforward by clicking the appropriate options in the toolbar. Here, exporting to Excel preserves the layout and formatting, while PDF gives a clean, printable version. CSV keeps things lightweight and ideal for quick data sharing. Next, let's see the sorting feature, which adds another layer of clarity. Just click on a column header, and the grid sorts the records in ascending or descending order. You can even sort by multiple columns, like sorting by customer name, and then by product ID to uncover patterns or prioritize key values. Now, let's see how selection works in the React DataGrid. You'll notice 2 main types: single selection, where you can select one row at a time, and multiple selection, which lets you select several rows together. For a more visual experience, checkbox selection can be enabled. The checkbox selection comes with 2 modes. The default mode allows you to select rows one by one either by clicking directly on the row or using the checkbox. Another mode is Reset and Row Click. Clicking directly on a row clears all previously selected rows and selects only that row. However, multiple selection is still possible, either by using checkboxes or by holding the Control or Shift key while clicking on rows. To select a range, press and hold the Shift key and click across the checkboxes or rows. There's also support for column selection, which lets you highlight one or more columns based on the configured selection type. Next, let's move on to explore the React DataGrid's common settings. First, column reordering. Just drag and drop the columns within the grid to rearrange them. Second, column resizing. You can adjust the width of a column using the floating handler that appears over the right border of the column header. Simply click and drag the handler. Column width updates instantly as you move, giving you full control over the layout. And next is the column menu, which provides quick access to features like sorting, grouping, filtering, column visibility options, and auto-fit. When you click the menu icon in a column header, a pop-up appears with these built-in options. To display the column menu, simply enable the Show Column menu option. So far, we saw the grid features and customizations within it. Now, let's see how to turn off features globally, like disabling editing or filtering across the grid. But when you need more control, you can configure settings per column. For example, the freight column might have its own behavior, while others follow the global setup. The React DataGrid is built with modern web standards and accessibility in mind. It supports keyboard navigation, screen readers, and responsive layouts, making it usable across devices and user needs. The Syncfusion React DataGrid offers a variety of built-in themes, including Material 3, Bootstrap 5.3, Tailwind 3.4, Fluent 2, and High Contrast. Each theme comes in both light and dark variants and can be customized using CSS or SCSS variables to match your application's branding. These themes ensure a modern, consistent look and feel across all platforms while supporting accessibility with larger size modes. The React DataGrid also supports localization, allowing you to translate static text such as tooltips, button labels, and messages into different languages and cultures. For applications that use right-to-left languages like Arabic or Hebrew, RTL mode automatically flips the layout direction. Together, these features make the Syncfusion React DataGrid globally adaptable, accessible, and visually cohesive for users around the world. That wraps up our deep dive into the Syncfusion React DataGrid. From editing and filtering to exporting and theming, you've seen how powerful and flexible it is, all in one place. Thanks for watching.